About mental health, I don't know where to begin or what to say really. I don't know when my mental health problems as such began or how old I was when I first developed mental health problems or what, yeah, what the turning point in my life was where I became mentally ill. I think I've been mentally ill since I was probably quite young, due to, well, due to probably having Asperger's syndrome in the first instance, probably not that Asperger's syndrome is a mental illness at all, it isn't one, and it's not curable, and it's not treatable with medication on any level. But I have Asperger's, I'm pretty certain, and I think this has been mistaken for some kind of weirdness or defect, or, I'm not neurotypical anyway. I'm a, I think just an oddball sort of person, and I can be, delightful and friendly and goofy and off the wall, but I can also be incredibly angry, incredibly frightening, I suppose, when I'm angry, and unpleasant to be around also, which I mean is. That is a trait of Asperger's people. We get very angry, I think, when we're scared and in a self-defensive kind of mode. I don't know really. But in terms of the mental health problems that are recognised in me, or the things that I've been diagnosed with, such as schizoaffective disorder, that first began when I was starting my second year of my first university, the first university I went to, University College Utrecht in the Netherlands. I started hearing voices back then, and but because I was starving myself in my room, not really wanting to socialise with anyone. Started hearing voices in my room back then, all my flatmates from back then saying horrible things about me in my head, and just, those sorts of things, really. Internal projections of what I imagine they might have been really saying about me or thinking about me, and so on, and this possibly slightly pathetic obsession with what people think about me and what they don't think about me, sort of overriding things. And I don't know, then I took a year out of university. I left that university because, in fairness, I had been given a hard time by some people there, and in fairness, they weren't entirely good to me there. And well, that is what it is. It's like I could do a whole video just on that topic, but I mean, I can't. I somehow got to give a summary of it. Then I went to my second university, University of East Anglia, where I was spiked, I think, by someone I was living with, someone called Brian Beatty, who I've mentioned this many times before, who I believe was trying to murder me at the time. I don't believe it was an attempt on my life now. I don't know really what to think about it at all anyway, but it left me incredibly frightened. Those people also weren't very nice to me. Well, they were nice to me, but I mean, superficially, very much, I think, quite often. And treating me as a sort of antagonist where I wasn't one. Or treating me as a horrible person, I don't know. Or I just don't get on with human beings. Or I do very often. I mean, I very often have friends, and just the friendship rots away somehow, or disappears somehow, or I do and say the wrong things, or say inappropriate things, I don't know, when I'm trying to be funny or whatever. It all falls apart. Or a girl like Brian Beatty, who I actually quite liked, goes and does something awful like spiking me. It makes me very fearful. Like, why does that shit happen? Why does that shit need to happen? Then I get PTSD as a result of that. And I had OCD as a result of, I think, what people were saying about me at UCU in the Netherlands. And, them saying bad things about me. And it's not just schizoaffective disorder. It's a variety of other mental illnesses acting in a comorbid complex of mental disorders which mimics schizoaffective disorder. And at the end of being at UEA, when I was back in England, the second university, I got sectioned under the Mental Health Act because I went and reported all this to the police in Norfolk, and they did plant drugs on me, I think, or maybe they didn't, or it seemed like they did. They dropped it in my backpack, I think. Whatever it was. And again, this one I don't know what to fucking believe. Don't know what to believe anymore. Just... And then my family treat me as though I'm just some sort of evil person who's making all this up. And I'm not making it up. It is the truth. And I'm not gonna... What do I need to say? Do you want me to say that I've been lying? To what end? Then what have I been really doing? Just trying to get my flatmates in trouble for no reason? I mean, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? It's a bit weird. Well, it's motiveless madness. Is that what you're suggesting I am? It's a motiveless monster? I'm doing it for fun or something? I'm not, honestly. This has been no fun for me at all these past 8 or 9 years. This has been hell. I don't want to go through this anymore. I want to take my own life. Well, I've thought about that seriously enough. Killing myself. Just ending it all. I don't know. I didn't want to... I think I just want to be at home. That's really what I want. I want to be at home, on the farm where I grew up, working on the farm, and not at university, and definitely not in a psychiatric hospital. I should never have gone to university in the first place, maybe. This wasn't right for me. I was bullied. People don't accept that or acknowledge it. I was bullied at school, I was bullied at university. Just my eyes are totally dead because of the medication that I'm on. But how's that helping? Just make me look more freakish than I would go. And then when I was growing up at home, I was having a hard time at home with my mother's partner. He was calling me a freak, a thing of nature, and a homosolizai, clearly referencing my sexuality and his cascades of abuse that continued throughout my adolescence. And my father was always getting drunk, still gets drunk every day, shouting and screaming at me and all that nonsense. Like if I got a bad report from school, he'd be, livid. All this sort of shit. Fly off the handle at any given moment, any opportunity. Like a raging, bullying, crazy person, really, crazy person is what he's like. That's how he acts very often. Recorded evidence of how what he's like. You can look at that on my other YouTube channel if you like, and there's a video called What My Father's Really Like, What My Dad's Really Like. Comes to the kitchen, slams the door, starts giving me hell, and he's clearly been drinking. That was my life with him, growing up, every day like that. Not every day, but too many days, too often. I don't know how to go forward in life. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know. Like, how mentally ill am I compared to my family? I'm mentally ill, fine, fair enough, I'm certainly mentally ill. Is everything I believe a delusion, though? No, I don't think so. And the stuff that happened at UEA, the spiking incident, did that happen? Yes, it did. Unfortunately, it did. Maybe it wasn't an attempted murder, though, fine. Maybe it was just an innocent enough prank at a party with very illegal drugs put into someone's drink. Fine, have it your way then. But I doubt they'd even acknowledge that much. My tobacco spiked a second time at University of East Anglia, then I really started hearing voices. Well, that made voice hearing experiences worse. And for that, on top of the OCD, which has been persisting since UCU in the Netherlands since 2013 or so, on top of complex, I guess, PTSD from the past traumas from childhood, and look at me now, look at the state I'm in. Wonderful. Hasn't my life turned out wonderfully and smashingly and brilliantly? I'm willing to accept every fault on my part I'm guilty of. Fine, fair enough. But I'm not going to take the blame for other people's behaviour. If and when it is their fault. Why should I? Why should I ever do that? Why should I compromise myself in such a way? It makes no sense, it's unreasonable. And quite a lot of my treatment has been unreasonable. She's never been given antipsychotics. I don't think. I mean, well, they didn't force them on me exactly in the beginning, but they goaded me into taking them. And I got goaded by mental health services into taking them and took them. Oh, once you've taken them, now you can't stop taking them, otherwise you're going to rebound psychosis or whatever. And there's that spiel, that nonsense that they drive into you. The years with the early intervention team, that was painful. Being dragged around on walking groups by these idiots in lanyards in the NHS. These sad young people, all obviously medicated, zombified by drugs almost, a lot of them, just wandering around some park or what have you. Pretty shit. Everyone wants to just focus on me, and it's my fault. No one wants to take the blame for it. No one wants to take the blame for having caused a lot of suffering to another human being. I say that it's no one in particular's fault. It's lots of people's fault. It's the fault of a lot of people I've met. It's the fault of people at UCU and UEA. It's my family's fault in part. It's partly my father's fault. It's partly my mother's partner's fault. And that's the unchanging reality there of it. I want to have a great relationship with my dad. I do often get on with my dad. But I mean, too often the relationship is a bad one. It's his doing. And he knows that as well. He lies about it. He tries to put it back on me. And it's also his partner's fault as well. Her manipulating him and, I've talked about her enough in my time, but whatever. I just want happiness, stability, security, a home basically, a place to call my own. Really, ideally, I want to go back to my home, which is Townhouse Farm, the farm where I grew up, work there. My father won't have me back because of his girlfriend and her not wanting me there or whatever it is. Just shit. It's a ridiculous situation. He'll be a very effective worker there for him as well. Could help him a great deal. He's getting old now and he needs someone to take over from him. There's always the plan that I would take over from him one day. But it doesn't seem to be happening. So it causes me a lot of stress, of anxiety. I don't know what my future's going to be. I don't know what my 10-year plan is or what my life's going to be like in 5 years' time. I have no idea. And it's just want to go home. That's all I really want. It's been taken from me. I mean, he can't deny he's been abusive. I got evidence of that, audio evidence of it, but it really happening. Of a bit of domestic violence that he initiated, really happening when I was the target of it. And him admitting, you know, he hit me over the head with a wine bottle and whatnot, and saying, "Oh, I should have hit you with something harder." No. The thing I recorded of him. So that's got to change. That can't keep happening. But the answer isn't to make me homeless. The answer isn't to put me in a psychiatric hospital like I'm the fucking problem. Is it? Or is it? Seems very unfair now, doesn't it? That sort of treatment. It's going to be a 20-minute video. Try and round this off somehow. What do I need to say? What do I need to say? I don't know. Sorry for everything I've done, for everything I've done that's gone wrong or fucked up or somehow not been what you wanted, but at the end of the day it comes down to, yeah, my mental illness and the disability I've been given by other people. And when it comes to that, so you have only yourselves to blame. You can't keep blaming me and keep avoiding responsibility while telling someone hypocritically to take responsibility for their own actions, like myself. I do take responsibility for my own actions, and I know I have done bad things in my time, things I regret, things I'm not proud of. But then again, so is everyone. I just wish we could come to an understanding, more or less. You know, me and my family again, and or my father more like, really. I speak to my mum often enough, and she's great, actually. She, you know, is a nice person. Helpful. Talks to me, at least. My father is different, one. Well, occasionally, but not often enough. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going through hospital. I had enough of this. I will stick to the medication, but also you need to recognise that you didn't treat me very well. That you were abusive. And it wasn't good enough. Not for someone who was already suffering as much as I was. It should have been better. Couldn't realise that. You know, I keep taking fucking medication if that'll make you happy, but it's not going to change how I feel. It's not going to change the past. It's not going to change really my mental health problems either. It's not going to change the fact that I have OCD and PTSD and those things. It's not going to change the fact that I have Asperger's syndrome. It will help with voice hearing experiences, for instance, and deluded thinking, and those sorts of things. I mean, I don't firmly believe in any of the things I've been saying in the past anymore, but that's just a side effect of the medication. I guess that's a slight improvement, or an improvement, but yeah. There's other underlying problems, that's what I mean by that. Don't know what else to say. Guess I don't know what else to say. I've said enough. So I think I have said enough about my mental health problems. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye. I love you lots. See you soon.